Hello everybody, Nell here from the Four Corners, and welcome to the final video I have planned centered around that huge list of Ninjago 2022 set leaks. Today we'll be talking about this one thing that's been making this set list very confusing. Now the 2022 set list is already pretty hard to understand. It's kind of hard to get a grip on what's really going on in terms of Ninjago Season 16 and Legacy, and the main thing that starts to confuse everybody is the EVO sets. Now there's a bunch of theories going around about the EVO sets. Maybe they can all combine, maybe they're all old sets that pop up in Ninjago's future, or these are all new vehicles and they just somewhat look like older Ninjago vehicles for reference, just to get a good grip on how they might look. But today we actually have some solid evidence on what these EVO sets are, and once we know what these are, things are going to get a lot less confusing. And rather than a typical American like me explaining it to you, I got a very well-known British Ninjago YouTuber, OverlordX, to go ahead and tell you that in his very, very nice English.
These EVO sets are definitely something very interesting to think about, and while we don't have any concrete proof on what they actually are, we definitely have a few good descriptions on what they may be. Firstly, could they be replacing Legacy? I'm gonna say no here. I believe that they are just a very small side thing where they remake previously popular Ninjago sets and make them more affordable. Who knows, maybe they'll even be a new part of Legacy, but just under the EVO line as well, simultaneously. If you want to get a good example on what these scaled down sets may look like, if we turn to Star Wars, they did something very similar earlier on in the year, where they simply scaled down previously very popular sets, such as the Imperial TIE Fighter and the X-Wing Fighter. So all in all, if you've got a tight budget and you want some Ninjago sets, these new EVO sets may be actually perfect for you, as they are most likely just going to be popular Ninjago sets, but in a more scaled down fashion.
So there you have it. I couldn't have explained it any better. The only other thing that might trip you up is the fact that we're getting snakes, and that doesn't really make sense for some of these EVO sets, because when a set like the Lloyd's Racing Kart EVO, which we now know to be a remake of the Ninja Nightcrawler, when that was around, the villain was the Sons of Garmadon, not some snake, so it doesn't make sense that these are the villains. However, I think some of these sets might pop up in the show in Season 16 as a cameo or something like that, because they've done that in the past where Legacy sets come on into the present day Ninjago show so that people will buy those sets more. So I kind of see these sets, or at least some of them, coming into Ninjago's future. And I also think that's cheaper for LEGO. They're making some cheap sets and they can't really have all that budget dedicated to making these brand new villain minifigures or remaking villain minifigures just for $20 to $30 sets. Plus, if you're giving the current or future Ninjago season's main villains, which in this case is the orange and black snakes, I feel like the sets are gonna sell a lot better. I'm not sure if Legacy was failing in the retail area. Maybe that's why they're switching things up. Maybe Legacy wasn't selling as good as they wanted it to, so they're changing up the branding so that it sparks up again. And I think giving you the main villain of the next season is a good way to help the old sets sell, because kids watch the show and they want things from that season, and when they see some of the things from that season in these EVO sets, they're probably gonna buy those sets a little bit more than they would have if it was those random bad guys from older seasons. However, that is all for this video explaining what the EVO concept really is. It definitely cleared up a lot of questions. I also want to thank OverlordX for coming over and explaining what it was. He's a great Ninjago YouTuber and I definitely recommend subscribing, so I'll put his channel link in the description in case you're interested. Thank you for watching our last Season 16 2022 set leak related video. And as usual, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.